Autism spectrum disorders. First described in the 1800s, the term autism was not used until the 1900s. Savant syndrome and Asperger's syndrome are commonly associated with ASD. Autism is also known as ASD, or Autism Syndrome Disorder. It's a range of functioning among many dimensions related to social communicative and social interactive functioning, with restricted and repetitive rapport of behavior and rest activities. Autism is a developmental disability. It affects kids differently. Over time, people become more educated on autism. This can be seen through the terms used. From 1952 to 2013, terms used in Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders to describe autism have developed. It went from schizophrenic reaction to autism spectrum disorder in 2013. On the spectrum means that given a specific set of behavioral and developmental problems and the challenges associated with autism spectrum disorder, ASP diagnosis the means of your child's communication, social, and play skills are affected in some way. Characteristics include deficits in social skills and social interaction, restricted repetitive patterns of behavior, interest, or activities. Below is a list of things that are associated with autism. The first one is limitation or repetition of words that have been spoken, immediate or delayed. The next one is repetitive movement, rocking, hand flicking, objection manipulation. Repetitive body movements used to stimulate one's senses, or stimming is self-stimulation. Hypo-responsive is low degree of reaction to stimulus. Hyper-responsive is high degree of reaction to stimulus. There is not one definite cause for autism. Possible causes include immediate family member with autism, genetic mutations, Fragile X syndrome, other genetic disorders, being born to older parents, lower birth weight, metabolic imbalance, exposure to heavy metals and environmental toxins, or a history of viral infections. Evidence-based practices. These are used to facilitate success in young children, youth, and young adults with autism. There's a long list that I have taken out of the book and put on here. It's worth looking into further if you know or have a child that is diagnosed with autism. Communication services include argumentative and alternative communication, or AAC, aided and unaided. Communication devices, sign language, gestures, and written language. My daughter has not been diagnosed, but we have already begun teaching her sign language so she can communicate better. Communicate needs and wants. It can help a lot with their emotions and self-esteem. There's a few famous people with autism, like Albert Einstein, Steve Jobs, who is the former CEO of Apple, Andy Warhol, who is a famous artist, and I cannot pronounce her name, but she was a creator of Nintendo's Pokemon. Autism does not have to be restraining. The sources used were my book.